Well, hello once again, my friends. It's Glenn with the Cactus Atlas, and this episode is going to be one of those episodes where we pack up a campsite and head to the next campsite. So I'm kind of starting in the original location, which for now should be pretty familiar to you if you've been watching our channel the last few weeks. I'm in Fruta Campground, nestled inside of Capitol Reef National Monument. What a beautiful sight. So we call this episode What Do You Want? I think historically we may have called them like road trip episodes or something. Basically gonna drive from Fruta Campground tomorrow morning when I wake up. I may try to hit a hike on the way out of here early. We'll see. And there's my buddies down there that hear I think he's recognizing my voice. He's getting excited. Probably not. I'd like to think that anyway, but I like this view right here with a road like that. It's such a sight. But anyway, yeah, I plan on leaving here in the morning. I have to head to Hanksville. I'm considering going to Goblin Valley, paying the entrance fee just to do a campground drive-through. But I might poke my head and go down into the valley for a few minutes. Not long. We were there not that long ago with the drone, in fact. But there's a slot canyon I might want to check out. And our ultimate destination is Natural Bridges National Monument, where I'm going to be camping. What are you two goofballs doing over here? I came over to see you and now you're walking away. Hey, what are you guys doing? I thought we were friends. Are we not friends anymore? If you weren't my friend, I don't think I could bear it. I wanted to say goodbye to these two also. They're doing their usual routine that I've been seeing, which is they stand side by side and they use each other's tails to whack flies off of their face. So the other two are constantly on the move. Hey. And then, yes, and then these two are swatting flies all day. And I've been wondering, do they make a product for horses that you can like put a balm or a spray that helps deter flies? Just a wondering, or maybe they're just used to it. That's part of their life. And I have one more group to go. Maybe say goodbye to if we're lucky. We'll see. There's some cute animals over here that I came across late in the day like now, and I'm hoping I come across them again. Marmots. This is a very idyllic house on the out. Oh, I see the marmot. Do you see the marmot? It's like a really fat squirrel. I confirm they are marmots. They have a thing that says marmot crossing, drive slowly, right up the road from here. But one of the marmots lives in that shed and it like poked its head out and was saying hello to me. Oh, you guys are not too afraid, are you, marmots? You must be eating a lot of pie, I would think. Somebody's feeding you pie. Although, as I learned, as you well know, I bet there's not much pie because it sells out so fast. There's Marmotville, you see it? I just caught it. Poke your head out for us. Come on. I wanted to say goodbye one last time, but I guess that's the best we're gonna get. But I must say, even though I never got my pie, this place served its purpose well for me, and I drunk in every little bit that I could, and it really, really enjoyed it. This is the part of the day, every day, that's really wound me down and brought me back to peace and quiet. Anyway, getting our last looks in here at the sun on that. I will not be seeing that again when I leave. And you never know in life. It's sad to say, but there's no guarantees in life. Will I ever stand here and set scenes on that same lighting again? I hope so. Such a sight. Such a sight. All right, anyway, I'm gonna wish you a good night. Hopefully I sleep well too. And we'll catch up in the morning when likely my stuff is packed up and I'm driving out of here. I'm actually on my way out of Capitol Reef. I packed my tent up. It's the next morning and I saw this site. And I had to come and say goodbye. Alrighty then, I'm gonna get in the truck and we'll get the camera set up on the roof. And then we're gonna go for a little bit of a drive to my next destination. Really, today's a travel day. Call it a travel vlog, whatever you want. Leaving here at Fruita Campground. And my destination is Natural Bridges National Monument. And they have a campground up there where I'm just spending one night to break up the trip to drive back home to Phoenix. We are prepared for liftoff. The deer are starting to migrate. They're behind my truck now. And we're heading off towards Hanksville, Utah. Partially because it's the best way to get home from these parts. Not the way I came. Bye-bye, little ones and big ones, and don't get hit by cars. Be smart. Don't be stupid. People aren't that safe to be around. Just remember that. Bye. They're less afraid of the truck than me. Same with cows. Cows don't seem to be afraid of the truck, but get out on foot. Oh boy. I guess I'm just tough like that. I look like a mean person, right? Anyway, look at this view. This morning view here in Capitol Reef. There's my spot. I spent many an afternoon here in this little grove of trees and that beautiful green grass. I'm dreaming of playing Lawnmower Simulator when I get home. And if you think I'm joking, I ain't. Alright, there's the Capitol Dome, the thing that Capitol Reef got its name for right in front of me. I should have called it out a little bit further back. Because it does, when you look at it from the distance, it looks like the dome, like on the Capitol. The Capitol in Washington, D.C. So that's where the Capitol in Capitol Reef got its name. And the term reef is one you hear out in these parts. There's another reef down by Hanksville in the San Rafael Swell, or at least there's a thing called Behind the Reef. But anyway, you got these big geologic features, the swell, or I assume the swell is a monocline. I need to look into that. I think it's the same idea as the fold. But if you go behind it, there's a drive called Behind the Reef, and they call these things reefs because they're, you got these giant sandstone fortresses that, like a reef in an ocean, it can prevent, a boat or something from getting through. Same with the rocks. So, unless you know where all the little slot canyons and stuff are and the little secrets. But for all intents and purposes, yeah, they're huge sections. We learned of such one with the Burr, on the Burr Trail. The switchbacks over there are a good example of a early settler needing to find a way through to move cattle, basically, back then. But you can see they had these challenges, these reefs. So Capitol Reef. Now you know. Morning here in Capitol Reef, though, is quite the sight, though, isn't it? Absolutely beautiful. Such a sight. I love the way the sun starts to creep in here and illuminate certain faces and beautiful morning out here near Hanksville now. North of it, we're leaving, driving up to Goblin Valley, very familiar territory. maybe, you know, this area and some others up here rank at the top of my favorite places on this earth. What do we got up here? We got a wild horse. Or did the horse get out of its thing here? I am wondering if someone's horse got out. Are you supposed to be there, sir? I don't think you're a wild horse. Well, hopefully whoever's horse that is, they figure that out. Unless it's just a wild horse, I guess. I have been driving up 24 for a while now, and our turn's coming up here. And what I'm really wanting to show you is off in the distance as we turn, you're gonna see this landmass rising up out of the earth, and that would be the San Rafael. It's San Rafael, like, let's be honest, that's how it's a Spanish name, that's how it's pronounced, but they pronounce it San Rafael, is how you would say it if you're in Utah. And I've stuck with San Rafael. I trained myself on it. I've been saying on all these episodes that I don't like forcing myself to say things
in a half mile, turn left,
in a way that I would normally not say them. But this one, kind of, I trained myself on it, and now I can't break the habit. So I always say San Rafael Swell. If you don't say it that way, usually we'll get a funny, nobody's been mean, but they'll be like, oh, we can tell he's not
turn left.
We can tell he ain't from Utah. Well, no, Sherlock, I'm not from Utah. What's your point? Gosh dang. Anyway, look, there's your San Rafael, or San Rafael Swell. And I'm assuming, you know, I'm trying to think of the word monocline, because it's not like I have my earth science books here at the ready and no internet. I was actually trying to look it up, but the fold in Capitol Reef is a monocline, and it's essentially this kind of thing. See how this is just this long stretch of like things swelling up, like a wrinkle in the earth? Well, I know what the other side is like. It's not unlike what you saw at Capitol Reef. So I'm assuming this is also a monocline in geological terms. I'll look it up later, and Amy can correct if it's not. I'm assuming monocline, if I broke that down, mono means one, and cline isn't cline, just kind of a, like incline, syncline. I don't know, like it's just an upwards slope, right? So, monocline, one slope, is that kind of a good way to think about it? It's like one side of it is like this, and then the other side is like the reef. I mean, I'm thinking that's what it is. Oh, I'm already here, but Google Maps has me going somewhere else, but I recognize this by sight. This is it. Well, what do you know about that, Google? What the hell are you doing today, Google? You're killing me with this bad directions back here. And these are like regular roads too. Anyway, I could see there's a few people here, but it's pretty much par for the course. All right, so Little Wild Horse Slot Canyon. The most popular hike in the San Rafael Swell. And basically what we're gonna do, there's not the greatest pictures in here, I guess, of how good it gets in there, but we're in the right spot. You can see here how narrow that gets in there. You're gonna see, because if you don't like tight places, you may not like this thing. But I'll let you judge for yourself when we get in. We're not far from the fun. I mean, you can see we're walking straight up here into the swell. So right on the edge of this, I'm gonna say monocline. Try to be smart. even though it's probably something else. But basically, yeah, very soon you'll see like you got this big wall of sandstone, right? Well, water and things have to flow somewhere, so these things form by erosion like that. You'll see interesting patterns in the walls too. I remember this very well. I remember those very trees that are likely cottonwood trees here in the wash, even from last time. I don't know why. It's been years. Interesting looking rocks and stuff, how they're like pinched, and it's almost like too perfect, like it's man-made. But it just kind of like bends, and presumably the forces that created this pushing things up and turning them on their sides, and nothing is like level here. It's just all slanted and weird. Many of you probably would come here and say, oh, we made it. Not just yet. Uh-oh, there's water in here today. That's not something I was expecting to deal with. I did not wear my hiking boots. It must have rained here. I've never seen this before. We'll see what's inside the thing. I don't know if there's gonna be pools of water or not. We can avoid wet here if we want, but we'll see if we can continue that trend. Still not it though, just FYI. Yeah, we're good. So this is maybe one of your tougher obstacles. It's not hard at all, unless you have mobility issues or something. Even some little steps for me. But keep this in mind, like harder versions of this, you'll run into stuff like this. Except the problem is this is like 20 feet high. And you're like, how am I gonna get up there? You're not, usually without special equipment. But there you go. Easy as pie. All right, this is that where the loop closes off. And I'll tell you your options. Bell Canyon is left, Little Wild Horse is on the right. What I did when I visited the first time is I took Little Wild Horse all the way up till it came out on a trail that took me all the way around and then back in. And then this ways, there's another slot canyon called Bell Canyon. Not gonna check that out today. I would honestly, if you just want slot canyons and you don't want to do the loop, I'd probably recommend go up Little Wild Horse until you're satisfied, come back, and then walk up that a little ways until you're satisfied and come back. Because the good stuff, if I recall, is not far that way. So I guess we can call this the official start. But the slot, the really narrow part, hasn't really made itself apparent yet, although a few more twists and turns and I think it will. I do recall you're gonna have little boulders and things. This area you can squeeze by it, but others you won't be able to. You got really small boulders you might have to step up on to proceed. All right. Starting to feel it now. Are you guys? Starting to get darker, narrower, and just look at these awesome patterns on the sandstone here. So wavy. Oh, look at this. This is a good sign. Here we go. Now you see the difference between a grand wash and this. Starting to see it anyway, hopefully. Oh, wow. Yeah, check this out. Oh yeah. All right, very narrow here. I would say for all intents and purposes, I mean, it's almost like my shoulder width across here, a little bit more than that. Just a few feet across. And there's some tricky little spots here. You can see it's not even ground at all. I'll be really careful. My feet are sliding on this rock like nobody's business today. I don't remember it being this slick like this before. I must have had better shoes at the time. Having a little challenge with this morning. Look at that. Oh. Wow. Gotta look up at times too. You can see it's just this crack here in the rock. It's crazy. What's around this corner? Oh yeah, see, it keeps going. It's a really nice length to this. You know, sometimes you'll encounter these and there's really short sections, but this one is, you're gonna get your money's worth on this. I guess, and you don't have to pay. There's no entrance fee, so you'll definitely get your money's worth on this. I almost don't remember it being this narrow in here. For some reason, maybe I got bigger. That's probably the reality. So I would say if you don't like, if you're claustrophobic, I don't think you're gonna do well in here. Just a heads up. And if I recall, this is among the best parts, so it's still cool. We're gonna kind of come in and out of this stuff, but here's those little boulder obstacles I tell you about. Just their steps, basically. They're not a big deal. We can see you kind of come in and out of that. I think there might be one other section here. If I remember, we're gonna come out and you'll see it narrow up again. But if we keep going forward, it just, I wanna say that's the prime time we just passed through right there. So if you are claustrophobic and afraid, and it helps, just know that you don't have to go far and you'll be out in daylight again. And that is where we just poked our head out and came out, right there. I think I'm gonna go peek up ahead, see if it's really worth to keep going or to keep things tidy. I might wanna turn around because I got the taste that I needed and that I wanted to share with you. My memory is not bad. I remember this pretty well. I remember seeing this the first time and saying, oh, it narrows up again. And it does, that little crack there. So we'll peek our heads in there. But I recall though, that after a while, it will open up very wide eventually. Ooh, that looks ominous, doesn't it? It's kind of freaky when you see it from outside. It's quite dark in here. Okay, I'd say it's worth going a little further, wouldn't you? Look at this. There's a good example of a rock obstacle. Rock that would have fallen from up there somewhere and got jammed here, and we have to step over it. So these are your most common obstacles in here. In fact, I don't remember this one being like this. Probably was, but interesting. And we'll continue in here. Isn't this wild? Little wild horse. It is wild. Some more obstacles for me and you. Up, water. So you're probably not gonna get, oh, this is weird. Dude, was that like that when I came here the last time? I don't remember that rock fall there. It's possible that that's new. I'm almost positive that wasn't there. I went the wrong way or something. But anyway, this is where I'm gonna turn because I didn't bring my hiking boots. I don't want to get wet. And I guess, yeah, that rock fall, I do not remember. I guess we could consult the old video and see. I could get over that no problem, but that's a little bit more difficult than I think a lot of people are going to be able to be willing to do. Anyway, I guess that settles that, huh? I say we head on back, and I'm going to get pictures on the way back with my other camera now. One last look at this section here, and we're entering that really dark passageway, and I'm gonna see you guys at the truck. Then we'll head on over, we'll hop into Goblin Valley really quick before we start heading home towards Phoenix, or towards Natural Bridges National Monument for tonight, but eventually home to Phoenix. There's your Little Wild Horse 2024, or part of it, or I would say the good parts as far as we could go today. And I didn't want to do any more anyway because we got a lot more to do. Let's see what time it is now. It is, how long have I been here for? 10:25, so not terribly long, I guess. I didn't really make note of the exact time oh, I need to get more ice. It's like a slosh in there. I didn't make a note of the exact time I started, but it was in a 9 a.m. hour, I believe. So I'm gonna guess we were here an hour-ish. Not that long. It's not that far to get up there. And now we head to Goblin Valley, right down the road here. So you ever camping at Goblin Valley? Or up, yeah, you got a day or two up here. This thing's right there, basically. So you'd be, and it's a paved road to get here. So you'd be foolish to overlook that one. I paid my entry fee, $20 to get in, which usually is well worth the price of admission, I would say, but when you're just here for like a little bit, not ideal, but that's all right. I bet our video here won't even make 20 bucks on Camp View in the long term. All right. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take you guys to Goblin Valley proper, like the area where there's like the overlook and goblins. We'll walk down the stairs and just poke in there, but we're not gonna spend a lot of time here. Nice. All right, now let's get down over there. We've seen all this before, so I'm just gonna head on down to the parking lot. I actually might do a quick drive around to the campground, not with you guys, just to peek and see how the capacity is, if it's aired out. It's almost 11 a.m. so usually people are out, and it's also hot, so maybe there's not a lot of campers in general this time of the year. So we will see, but I'll see you over here in Goblin Valley. And here we are, Goblin Valley, the Valley of the Goblins, and there are 3 little valleys in here, and to me the best parts are way back in there, and they kind of cut back in there. This first part is awesome too, but very expansive. We'll go peek down there a little bit, but we're not going to go do the whole thing. This will be my 3rd time in life descending down into this valley. Now's a good time to plug maybe our last video. I made 2 videos here, but the last video, I took advantage of one of the newer policies here in this state park and flew my drone here in the valley, and I had an amazing time. And you could see all that on the last video if you really want to get a good view of this thing and the layout. If this has piqued your interest, you might want to just head on over there and watch that, or watch it after you're done with this video. Put it on your list to play next. You'll start to notice very quickly that you'll see very odd shapes, some very mushroom-like. You'll even see faces. If you let your imagination take you where it wants to go, you can start to see goblins and all sorts of weird stuff down here. In a way, you know, I was thinking about it. In concept, I wonder if it's not much different than other hoodoos you see, like at the Devil's Playground off of Hole in a Rock Road. We saw different colorations, but usually some kind of material on top that's harder, and he erodes at a slower rate, while the stuff underneath erodes faster. And that's really the makings of this stuff. And it is like a dried mud, like a clay. And if I wanted to, I could go pick at some of that with my fingers, but I'm not gonna do that and contribute to erosion. There's a story of some really ignorant adult, and I don't know if it's his sons or whatever, but they were out here, and they were caught on video, I think, pushing over one of these things. And I think they got busted, and I think they got busted hard and fined. But yeah, just every time I come here, there's just so many, your brain can't catalog them all. And it's bright too. This stuff reflects right in your face. Should have brought my sunglasses for this, but we're not down here long, so. My favorite feature of Valley A here is this view, with the backdrops there and just the endless goblins. And you can wander all the way out there. Anywhere you want, you can go in here. There's no rules other than don't mess with the stuff and touch them. And then if you go that way, Valley 2, I think, cuts up behind that. I think Valley 2 is my favorite. Valley 2 and Valley 3 are my favorites, and I think Valley 3 is even further back and goes up that way. And there are all these nooks and crannies you can explore in there. Little spaces I've never fully explored, so very good for little kids. And this is where you would play the ultimate game of hide and seek. All right, folks, like I said, I didn't intend on spending a lot of time down here. I just wanted to poke my head in. Got a few pictures for Amy here in Valley A. Gonna head up. I went through the campground. There's nobody there, basically. Perfect timing. Do my camp view drive through. Easy campground layout. One and done. And then we're gonna get back on 24. I'm gonna head back to Hanksville. Might stop, fuel up, get ice there. And then I'm gonna take you on a really spectacular scenic drive to kind of round it out before we get to Natural Bridges National Monument this afternoon. Goblin Valley. I'm actually sitting right outside the campground here. Just finished my campground drive through with the cameras on the roof. Everything seemed to go well. And there's barely anybody in there. I think I only saw 2 people set up in there, and now every site has a reserve sign on it, so I didn't actually see any available, which is normal because it's 11 in the morning, so a lot of people have left. But I also have to wonder, with as hot as it is, see, it's 89, so it's not the hottest in the world, I guess, but still, will people show up and use their campsite, or are they just gonna not show up like I saw at Fruta? The first couple nights, half the campground was empty, even though there were reserve signs on all of the sites. Then by the second and third, fourth nights, most people showed up. So, but it is proof that I do perceive that as an issue in our campgrounds here with reservation systems. You have a lot of people who can afford to make a reservation far in advance, not really knowing if they're gonna show up or not. And then eventually they just, whatever they do, they decide not to come, and then they don't cancel their reservation, and then a site goes unutilized for the night. I have ideas for that, actually. I have a really good idea, I think. Not just that, it's a bigger idea where that could be one of the problems you solve if you so choose, if you choose to turn that feature on in the software, the punishment feature. So for now, what I'm going to do is now I'm orienting myself south, and actually now officially kind of starting the long journey home with the 2-day journey home, where I'm breaking it up tonight by staying in Natural Bridges National Monument further south in Utah, and then I wake up the next morning and drive home to Phoenix. Doubtful I'm going to make a video on that day. I haven't fully decided, but I'm probably just going to head home and crash when I'm done with all this stuff. Hard work. So with all that said, I will see you in a few down in Hanksville. Leaving Hanksville, I got ice. I put a bunch of fresh waters into the cooler. I topped off my tank, and I topped off my belly at Stan's Burger Shack. It was good. I would say it was lunch crowd right at noon, but not really bad. It probably took like 5 minutes to get my food, and there was plenty of seating, and the gas station and gift shop's pretty busy here too. But overall, yeah, it was good, exactly like I remember. A good burger, but not the best burger you're ever gonna have in your entire life, but it might be the best burger that you're gonna have in your life while you're out here in these parts. It's the only burger, but no, it's a good burger. It is. The fries were delicious again. Service was great 3 times in a row, and I don't have any complaints. And I can recommend it. Now, I've done this area before. Where we're going, I think I filmed it on 2 different occasions, like from different directions. The difference today is I've got the GoPro mounted on the roof, so if I've done it in the past, chances are it would have been a little, little windshield glare perhaps. And today, hopefully, it's a lot clearer, although it is right in the middle of the day. We'll see how it is. But basically what I'm gonna do is, I know we don't have much further to go. Then we're gonna start this descent into this like valley. You're gonna see these giant red rock cliffs. I'll start filming there. We're gonna go like through the Glen Canyon National Recreation Area where the river is, cross a bridge. No, I know we're not in Arizona. Like, I think I misspoke on one video about that. I think most people understand that, but every once in a while you just get really annoying people that you think that you ruin their life when you misstate something like that, and then you really got to wonder about people like that. So yeah, we're gonna cross that Colorado, then really we're basically heading towards Monument Valley, Mexican Hat. That's how I'm getting home. That's the most efficient way to do this from these regions. So we're not gonna get that far south today. Natural Bridges National Monument is there, but really it was like the difference between, I don't know, like an 8-9 hour drive versus a 6-hour drive tomorrow. And these really long drives that I've been doing, I've done some monsters. It's not fun. So that's why I'm kind of doing this. I'm breaking up the night, staying in Natural Bridges. I don't even know if I'm going to make another Cactus Atlas video, to be honest, there on this trip. I might just go there, camp view it, do some camp view business, and just relax and play the Nintendo Switch that I brought with me on this trip that I have not used once. It's never seen the light of day as usual. There's a sign for the Glen Canyon National Recreation Area. We've just entered it. So you've now entered a no drone zone, technically. I think there's a wilderness along the river. My public service message of the day, because way back in my earliest days of flying a drone, I did fly one down by the bridge and at an overlook. I was ignorant, pure ignorance, one of my first things, and I just made an assumption. I didn't realize the Glen Canyon Recreation Area came up this far. It's the same place where I floated down the river in Arizona. Looks like we got a little bit of a traffic jam here, maybe. Oh man, this is gonna mess my flow up, man. I don't want to be following like a caravan of cars and trucks through here. Oh well. There is a overlook, so if I need to pull over, maybe refresh a battery or something, and we'll let this air out in a little bit. So I'll connect back once we get through this. Okay, view area. So we're right at the view area. So I may just, like I said, pull over. Unless everybody else is gonna go pull over. If they're all gonna continue, I'm gonna go pull over for a few and wait. And we'll take a look at this together. We've seen this before, but I'll do it again. Because it's quite a spectacular view. It is hot out here. This is the hottest I've felt on my whole trip. We're not gonna spend long and you're gonna get to drive this whole thing now. But it's probably good to take a quick look and survey down below. Look at that. That's something else. Very windy here along the cliff's edge, so I apologize for wind noise. You can actually see the bridge we're gonna cross down on the Colorado down there. The road's gonna wind us all the way down, and that's where people got mad at me, where I mistakenly said I was crossing that bridge to get into Arizona, and my God. You know, I lived in Arizona for over 20 years now. You'd think I'd know that, right? So no, to those people, that is not Arizona over there. And we've known that the whole time. If you watch the whole video too, you'd see I go to the state line at the end, so you would just say, oh, he made a mistake. He wasn't thinking clearly, or just, you know, whatever. But when you have views like this, who's to get mad anyway? Jeez Louise. This is amazing. It's just a mix of sandstone, wilderness, and red rock, all carved by the Colorado. Okay, so I just wanted to give you an overview view. We're gonna kind of wind from this side, down, 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 cross the river down there, and then south. And we won't even be going into Arizona today either. I wanted to face this direction too. That's where we just drove from. You can actually see the construction crews if you look carefully where the flagman is. But that's where we came from, up in that direction towards Hanksville. Okay, that was our quick little overview of where we're going. Most of you already know this because you either watch you're astute and you watch our channel and we've taught you that, or you've already been down this way, where you cross the Colorado River to get into Utah. Anyway, this is what I'm talking about right here. You know, the paved roads in America that are, you know, the All-American Highway, Scenic Byway 12, and this section of road, little places like that. I would say this section, starting up by that viewpoint, crossing the Colorado, and even going a little bit further back there, might be my favorite stretch of road in America. That's a bold claim, I know, and I have a lot more to explore, but I have never, ever seen anything quite like this on the scales and the views down here. And all these like giant monolithic rock castle looking things all over the place, and the sandstone, the different colors. It's something that you gotta see at least once. I would say it's as good as the Grand Canyon to me. on the other side, starting to make our way down to the bridge that crosses the Colorado. I think every single time I've come down this way, I've stopped and gotten out on foot on either side of the river and just kind of hiked under the bridge, walked, showed it, and yes, I flew a drone around it. And that was, like I said, one of my errors before I became educated and a certified remote commercial drone pilot. And I decided to leave stuff up there just because I don't think it's, based on my studies, I don't think it's like I'm someone, they're not going to be sending the SWAT team after me. We'll just put it that way. All these years later after doing it. If I was going to get in trouble, I would. I'm not trying to make a bad example, but yeah, like I would not do that. And most people are nice. Like the people that know, they kind of are just like, hey, be careful. Like, But then you get a couple tools that, if you're thinking about flying a drone on YouTube, my advice is get your commercial license if you're making money because you're supposed to. But I'll be honest, it will help you defend against ignorant people that are going to try to rip you down and take you down if you do this a lot. And they're waiting for you, trust me. There are actual watchdog groups. Go look on Facebook and look up that. Now that's who you really got to wonder what kind of life these people lead. if that's what they do for fun, I guess. I don't know. I just think people need to focus more on themselves and what they can do to make the world a happier place, and not resort to being monkeys at the zoo throwing poo-poo at everybody, because that's what it is. So from here, I think the drive is still amazingly beautiful. It's not done yet, but because I don't want this to become an all-day affair for either one of us, I think what I'll do is I'll just probably gotta go change the battery up on the roof really quick, and then I can kind of just chill, and I'm gonna just not talk and just deliver you some various scenes from the roads. I'll record bits and pieces here. I need to find a good place to pull over, and it was right there on the left. But we'll do that and kind of make a beeline for my campsite tonight at Natural Bridges National Monument. It's a very small campground there, but it looks nice on recreation.gov. It is reservable. And when I went to reserve it, I don't know, I reserved it a few nights ago because I wasn't planning on stopping. I was going to drive all the way home from Capitol Reef, and just decided, nah. I was the only one that had a reservation. There was not a single other campsite reserved for that night. So we'll see if that's changed. So I had every site to choose from, and I looked at the pictures and I chose what I thought were among the best ones. And you're talking like just a handful of sites, but we'll see if I'm right or wrong. I was trying to use their map to gauge, like the hand-drawn map to gauge if where my site is in relation to others, and of course I couldn't, it's not like Camp View where you get to find out a little bit more about the context. Anyway, welcome to Utah, not Arizona. Checking back in with you now. It's been a long while. I kind of just filmed different sections of the road like I said I would. And we're now about 7 miles, 7.7 miles, 9 minutes away from Natural Bridges National Monument. I'm excited just to set up my tent, and I don't even know if I'm gonna hike to any of the arches or the natural bridges, to be honest with you. It's just, I may just hop in, document the campground. I'll refer you to the old videos we've made here. I made one complete video a long time ago, kind of a goofy video if I remember. And then the second one was just dropping by, I think, just very briefly. And I showed you one of the natural bridges. So that's probably not the best one. I don't even remember what video that was. I think I did a similar thing where I left Hanksville and I was driving home and I popped in here very briefly. In a future episode, I don't know if you see those two formations off in the distance. Those are known as the Bears Ears National Monument, because they resemble bear's ears, I suppose. I think there's a lot of like Native American history buried up in there, and I've never been. I think it's a BLM National Monument, not a National Park Service National Monument. I don't know too much about it, to be honest with you, but I do know I want to visit someday and check it out and see if we could seek out maybe some old native ruins, or who knows what lies up there. The Bears Ears. Sorry folks, I think here's the part I'm going to tell you. If you want to learn more about this nice little campground that I'm already loving for all the right reasons, I even got a little bit of a view back there. Check out Camp View. I'm going to definitely do like a campground review, like a quick in-person walk around, and probably the campground drive-through also, to be a completionist. But having a nice tent pad like this, when I first started camping, I was like, why do they put these things there? I get it now. So I have two to choose from. And boy, am I appreciative of that. My only gripe is it's hot. But we will survive here. We will survive. I want to say thank you again for hanging out with Slim and I today. We're going to call this the end of the line. We made it. Watch Camp View for more info about the campground. If you haven't subscribed yet to our channel, please consider doing so if you like this video. And be sure to tell your friends about Cactus Atlas as well as Camp View. And thanks again, we'll see you next time. Bye.